Hi friends, welcome back. Today we are going to solve code forces problem, Whitley and strings. Before we start looking into the string problem, some examples and the solution for this problem, I want to mention that my channel is dedicated to help people who are preparing for their Java J2 interviews and for their coding interviews. On my channel, you will find lots of helpful videos that can help you in your interview preparation and for your coding interview preparation as well. There are over 250 solved coding examples which are explained with whiteboarding sessions and Java code, and those are interview questions which are previously asked by big tech companies like Google, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Yahoo, and many others. And those are selective problems in the sense that they constitute very important coding questions varieties such as DFS, BFS, matrix problems, graph problems, binary search tree problems, dynamic programming problems, coding interviews related to linked list, strings, optimization using priority queues, and many other logical questions. So this channel can definitely help you in your job interview preparation. So please subscribe to this channel. So let's look into the Whitley and strings problem statement first. Whitley is a diligent student who never missed a lesson in his 5 years of studying the university. He always does his homework on time and passes these exams in time. During the last lesson, the teacher has provided two strings assigned to Whitley. The strings have the same length. They consist of lowercase English letters. String S is lexicographically smaller than string T. Whitley wondered if there is such string that is lexicographically larger than S and at the same time lexicographically smaller than T. This string should also consist of lowercase English letters and have the length equal to the length of S and T. So let's help Whitley solve this easy problem. So in the input, let's look into this problem, right? So as you can see, both this S and T, both these strings are same length, right? So let's see, the first string contains S and lowercase English letters, and length of S and length of T are both are equal, right? And then T also uh, is English case lowercase letters, and both lengths are equal, right? That's given here. It is guaranteed that the length are same and S is lexicographically less than string T, right? So what does lexicographically smaller means? Like, let's first understand that. So let's take this example over here. So first let's understand what is lexicographically smaller means, right? So for example, if we have a string, right? Let's say A, B, and C, right? This is a string, and there is another string, let's say A, B, and F, right? Let's say. So both have same length. Now as you can see, this character and this character, which is the last character, so F character is greater than C, right? When you write alphabet A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, so F is greater than C, so which means that ABF is lexicographically bigger than ABC, or ABC is lexicographically smaller than ABF, right? So that's what lexicographically smaller or bigger means, right? Or some other example, let's say for example you have just string A, right? So any string like B or D, so A is lexicographically smaller than B, it is lexicographically smaller than D, right? Because A comes first and then B comes, then D comes, right? When we are writing English alphabets. So that is what the lexicographically smaller means. So we are taking this example that's given to us, right? So what we have to do is, let's first take one smaller example and then we will go to the bigger example. So let's say we have another smaller example. Let's say A, B, and C is our first string S, right? And the other string we have is A, B, and F, right? This is another string. So this one is string S and this one is string T, right? This is string T. So we have to find out a string which is bigger than this string, lexicographically bigger than this string, and lexicographically smaller than this string, right? So with the same length, right? So what we can do to solve this problem is we will just go character by character from last character, right? So let's say abf is our string, right? So we will go from last character, so we go this character and we will take a character which is less than this character. So e is the less than this character, right? E comes before f. And we will, once we take this one character less, we will just, let's say we are going in a for loop, right? So for loop will start here, then it will go here, then it will go here. But once we convert one character with a smaller character, we will just break out from the for loop, right? In that case we will get a string like abe, right? So abe string we will get, right? So this one is lexicographically bigger than abc and smaller than abf, right? So only one character we have to find out and change it. And after we change it, we will just make sure that this is not equal to this same string, right? Because there are conditions where it can become the same string. For example, if you have a string, let's say a string is abc, let's say, right? And the t string is abd, let's say, right? Abd. So in this case we will just change this d to c, right? Because we always go to uh, the previous character for this first, like last character. So we will have to compare the new string with this string, right? If we can, after converting, if both strings are same, then there is no possibility that we will have lexicographically bigger than the s and smaller than t, right? So we have to output in that way. So let's see what so we, in that case we have to say no such a string, basically, right? In this case we will say no such string, right? In this example, we will just output abe, right? Abe is the lexicographically bigger than abc and smaller than abf, right? So again, let's take another this big example. So let's just go through our approach, right? So we first will take the last character, right? And we will change it to the previous character. So what it will become? It will become like A, B, C, then D, E, F, and H, I, J, K, right? So J. So J is previous character than K, right? So this is the lexicographically bigger than this one and smaller than this one, right? So this one we will output as our answer in this case. So um, and this is already given to us in the example, in the problem statement, that the string s and string t both have same length, right? And string s is lexicographically less than string t. This is guaranteed, so we don't have to worry about it. So this is already given, that's why our logic always will work. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Java solution. So s and t, this is the input string that is given to us. After that we will just take this t strings and we will convert it into character array, right? Char array. And after that we will go through the each character from the end, right? We will go in this direction. So what we are doing is we are going from end to beginning, right? In this direction we are going. So first character we will read it is k, right? So that's what we are doing. So if we are finding a, then we will back to z, right? If we find a, we will use z as the previous character, correct? So that's what we will check first. Otherwise we will just use the previous character than the k character. For example, the previous is j, so we will use that character and we will just break out our character array. We will convert it into string here using the string constructor, right? We can pass character array and it gives a string and we'll just output that here, right? We will check before we output, we will check if the new string that we got, if it is equals to the string s, then we cannot convert it into lexicographically bigger than s and smaller than t, right? In that case we will just say no such string. Otherwise we will just output our result. So let's go ahead and take a look. So as you can see, we are getting a b c d e f g e f and j, right? So j is smaller than k. So this is the same example that we saw here. So let's take some other examples as well. So if it is g and h, right? In this case we cannot get any character when we are trying. So let's take this example, so I'll show you. So now let's just consider that instead of k, if this character is h, right, h, then the new string we will get is a b c d e f and g, right. The new string will be equal to same as s, right. So in this case there is no possibility that we can find a string which is lexicographically bigger than s and smaller than t, because h is right next to g in the English alphabets, right. So let's try this test case. So let's just go ahead and execute this. So as you can see, no such string, we cannot get any string like this. Let's take another example, a and let's say d d d. So in this case we will find d d and c, previous character we take, right, then d. So this is so DDC is lexicographically bigger than AAA and it is lexicographically smaller than DDD, right? So that is correct answer. So if you just look at this A and C also, we will take this another example. So this one is A and this one is C. So only string is B, right, which is in between A and C. So as you can see, B, we are getting correct answer here. So this is the way we can solve Whitley and strings problem. So what we did is we have been given in the problem statement itself that the string S and string T both have equal length, same length, and string T is lexicographically bigger than string T. String T is lexicographically bigger than string S. So this is given to us. So we took advantage of the fact and we went from end to beginning and we find first character which we can decrease. So this is the first character which we will try to decrease basically, right, by 1. So if it is k, then we will just mark it as a j, right, and then we will get a new string like a b c d e f j, right, and then we will just make sure that it is not same as our string s and we'll just mark it as the output. And as you can see, this string is lexicographically bigger than s and it is smaller than t, right. So this is the logic we are using to solve Whitley and strings problem on Codeforces. This is a string problem. So if you are new to my channel, there is a Codeforces playlist on my channel which solves more than 80 different questions explained with whiteboarding sessions and example Java codes. You can go through those playlists. Also, there is another big playlist on my channel called as LeetCode and LeanCode Solutions. Those are the problems or coding interview questions asked by Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Yahoo, Amazon, Apple, and many other big tech companies. Uh, and those are selective problems to cover important different varieties that are very important from coding interview perspective, such as matrix problems, BFS, DFS, which is binary breadth first search, depth first search, graph problems, binary search tree problems, dynamic programming related coding interview questions, linked list related questions, string questions, optimization problems using priority queues, and many other different logical questions are covered there. So if you go through this playlist, it will give you lots of good practice that will be definitely helpful to you in your coding interview preparation. Also, if you are preparing for Java telephonic interview, there is another playlist called as Java interview on my channel that discusses frequently asked Java telephonic interview questions, and how to answer those questions is also discussed there. Apart from that, there are videos related to Java architecture, Java design patterns, Java string related coding questions that are frequently asked on whiteboarding sessions, on online interviews. So you can check them out. This whole thing will give you really good preparation. If you like this video, if you find this video helpful, and if you like the way it's been created with whiteboarding session, examples, and Java code, then please give it a like. Also subscribe to the channel. Your subscription to the channel is really important for the channel, because that is the way the videos can reach to more people who need help in solving coding problems. Main goal of the channel is to help as many people as possible in their coding interview questions and in their Java J2 interview questions. They can also solve these they can also watch these solved coding problem videos and understand how to approach different varieties of problems using different techniques, and what data structures, what Java APIs, what Java libraries to be applied to solve different varieties of problems. They can easily learn by seeing these videos. So if you like this video, please give it a like. If you have any questions regarding the video, please put your questions below the description section, and share this video with your friends and colleagues, and keep coding. Thanks for watching.